In today's episode, we're going to be sharing our story of how our £1 first date ended up in us becoming a married couple.
Plus, we're also going to share our 5 favourite date ideas, which all cost under £5, and things that we still do today after being together for 15 years.
Before we go too deep into the £1 first date, obviously, let's just put a disclaimer in. We were only 15 at the time.
And we're going back to 2008.
I don't think I had more than £1.
That's
kind of all I could afford.
And I feel like we had to learn that, nowadays you choose to be on a budget, but back then we were forced to. So we had to learn what we could get the best out of what we had.
100%. So do you want to kick this one off, Tan?
Rewinding 15 years back. I mean, we've obviously touched on how we first met in our episode 1. To cut a long story short, we started talking on MySpace, had a little chit chat, a good little connection through MySpace messages, had a little phone call, the last 30 minutes of my 5-day pass. And then I remember the little woman on my phone was like, "You have 1 minute remaining." George done his closing speech.
It wasn't an interview. When we first started talking, I actually remember that moment where we were in such a deep conversation, and then all I get is this notification, "You have 1 minute remaining." I was like, damn it, we've got to go quick.
Did you hear it as well?
Yeah.
Oh, we both heard it.
Yeah, we both heard it. I think I said to you, if you're interested, then send me a message. I said, if you're not, then I said,
yeah, but it was kind of like more sped up because you literally had 60 seconds. So you were like, if you're interested, give me a call, do this, do this. But you did manage to get everything in that 60 seconds. I did. So then the next day I remember.
And you sent me a message.
Exactly. You left it to me. I came back to you. Literally, we arranged to meet up, right? It was as quick as that. And I think it was literally a few days later. And we met up in McDonald's.
So we met up in McDonald's, all right? And it's funny, right? Because at the time, I think you was going ice skating on that day, wasn't you?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. We didn't really know each other and I was only young. And, my parents taught me to, be very safe around strangers. So I didn't want to go and meet you on my own. Yeah. So I thought this would be the perfect opportunity that I'll be with my girls. We'll go to ice skating and then we'll go to McDonald's after. Yeah. And then they'll just sit on a table that was a bit further away. Yeah. And then that's when you came in. And I remember having this conversation with him to say, just in case you weren't who you said you were or I wasn't, feeling it, I'd give them a sort of a little sort of subtle hint to
wink
say,
twice if you're in danger.
Yeah. Either save me or praise me. So I remember that. But then you walked in and you were exactly what you were.
So did your friends approve then? Did they give you any sign of approval?
Yeah, I think I just gave them a little,
That is the most amateur wink. You're like,
I'm really bad at winking.
I can tell. So we had our date, right? And this is where it now goes to how we had the £1 first date, because I remember I asked you what you wanted, right? And this is where it gets really interesting because I literally only had £1. I literally had £1. I didn't have no money. I was a kid, innit? And I didn't come from a rich family. So I literally had £1. And I remember asking you what you wanted. And I was praying. I was like, please don't say you want to eat. Please don't say. I couldn't even afford the cheeseburger. Or if I got you a cheeseburger, I couldn't afford the drink. So we kind of had to mix and match that. So I was like, what do you want to drink? And you was like, I just want a Sprite. And even to this day, you still have a Sprite.
Yep, I still have a Sprite.
You still love a Sprite, don't you?
And back then, I think it was 99p. I mean, obviously now it's gone up, but yeah.
Has it gone up now?
I would imagine, yeah.
I feel like it's still £1.
I don't know. They have that saver menu thing, so maybe.
Yeah, maybe. You got me questioning. I'm going to start Googling it. How much is a Sprite at McDonald's? But yeah, at the time it was 99p. And it's crazy, right? Because it just goes to show that monetary value doesn't really play a big part in how you fall in love with someone. Because that drink literally cost £1. But it gave us an opportunity to sit together, to chat, to communicate, to laugh, to talk, to get to know each other. And that's what sparked everything else.
100%. Quite quickly after the date, we realised that there was something special.
100%. No, I totally get that. So you heard it now. That's our £1 first date. And I suppose it's a good sign to say that you don't need to have a lavish date for things to actually work out. Do you know what I mean?
Really don't. And I think as we get older, we realise that the materialistic side of things, it doesn't go deep. Because
I feel like there's a big stigma, right, on how you need to be flashy. I feel like people are very pressured now in today's society to have nice cars, take their partners out to nice fancy restaurants, spend all this money, go to the nicest restaurants, spend hundreds of pounds. And actually, monetary value shouldn't play any part in how you fall in love with someone.
I think there's this misconception that obviously when you're meeting someone and you're dating, you want to make the effort, right? You want to put your all into them. But the misconception is that all of your financial effort or all of your heartfelt effort.
100%.
Give the heartfelt feelings. Show your true value of them by the things that don't cost anything.
I totally agree. And going a step further to this, I would even go to say that even if you had a ton of money that you could go lavish on a first date, I would even say don't do that. Maybe on your first date, do one of the 5 ideas that we're going to talk about today, just to get to know them a bit better, get a bit more intimate, and actually get an idea of if they actually like you. Because at the end of the first date, they're either going to be really happy that they got to know you and they're going to have no care about the monetary value of that date, or they're going to feel maybe a bit upset, or maybe a bit disappointed, like the fact that you never did anything fancy with them.
Yeah, I think it's the easy way to rule out someone's intentions from the offset.
You don't want to base your foundations on a standard of, if you suddenly you didn't want to have a lavish day out, you wanted to have a night in, or like, let's say you lost your money and like you ended up broke, is your partner going to now leave you? So guys, we're going to share now our 5 date ideas that we do even today, that I would say, honestly, they don't cost either anything. Either they cost £0 or they cost under £5, and they are the nicest date nights. So simple, so fun, and so intimate as well.
The thing that costs the most is our time, right? And time is free. So
100%.
If you can devote that, then budget has nothing to do with it.
I totally agree. So the first date idea that we do on a budget, and you can do it too, is board games or card games. We love playing card games. We love playing board games. We love Monopoly. We love playing drafts. We love playing Monopoly Deal, the card version. We love playing backgammon. What else do we love?
Blackjack.
Not the gambling blackjack. There's like, it's like Uno, isn't it?
It's like an Uno for a standard playing cards version.
Mate, we love these things, and it's so nice. You can literally just sit at home. You just play your card games. You can have a laugh. You can forget about the work and everything else around you.
It brings out like that fun competitive side of one another, and sometimes we do bets, don't we? We make things interesting. So we'll be like, the winner, gets a massage or gets to be tickled. We make it fun and playful.
Which don't cost anything either.
Exactly. So we might put a bit of music on in the background, have a little drink on the side, and just have a games night.
Okay, so moving on to date idea number 2.
So date idea number 2, I would have to say, is probably couple quizzes.
Definitely.
Or just general questions about each other. I mean, we found so many on YouTube or just websites.
Mate,
even apps.
Fun.
There's like free dating apps where you can just fill out quizzes and, you fill one out, your partner fills, and then you can see each other's answers.
Wasn't there one that we did recently with like an
Yes,
app?
It was called Paired. It was really good
Paired,
fun.
yes.
And like we'd have our own little questions to answer, and then you could see each other's answers.
Yes.
And you learned a little bit more about each other, but also made it quite fun because you showed your concept of one another. And sometimes we'll just do guessing games. We'll do this or that, right? I'll be like, okay, what do I prefer, this or that? Would you rather this or that? And it's good fun because it sparks conversations. It makes things fun. And you still learn about each other. I mean, even after 15 years together, there's still maybe a dessert choice that I probably wouldn't have said was your favourite. And it actually is. And, it's just always making the effort to not only have fun with one another, but learn from one another.
I definitely think like those games as well make you more connected additionally, because you get to know more about each other. And also when you have a competition of how well you know someone, you naturally feel closer to them because you're like, mate, I really know you.
Yeah.
And there's actually no other woman at that point that could compare to you, because the value that we have and the connection that we have is so strong. And when you say got divorced today, imagine how long it will take, if there is even a time frame for it, how long it will take to even get to a point where we are right now.
To be honest, I don't think that now, for us anyway, us specifically, we'd ever know someone on the same level, because we've known each other since we were children.
Very true.
And we've known each other for half our lives. So if we got together with someone years down the line, there's things that you wouldn't necessarily remember about
and
yourself.
And they've had all their experiences and this and that.
Things that maybe back in the past you've shared with me, I might not remember in 10 years to tell someone else that.
No,
so
100%.
There's always things that you're always going to know more about. And it's always nice because we say, we joke that we know each other more than our own selves.
I can actually almost answer the question that I'm going to ask you before you even answer it.
You'll ask me something and you'll almost predict my answer, and I'll say it and you'll be like, oh, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. I actually know you better than you know yourself. And I know you so well. I know every crinkle in your body. I know like every
crinkle.
I know how many hairs you have on your head. I don't know everything. The most valuable thing that I suppose we have personally for us talking is the fact that we've actually had a lot of first experiences together. We've grown up together. That's something that you can't get with anyone else. You are my first love and I'm your first love. And
obviously that's not to say that doesn't work for people, but
no, of course.
Just for us in general, we've been lucky enough to literally grow up together.
100%. So number 3, I think this is a really, really good one for 2 benefits, is go for a nice long walk. Now, the reason why I say that is because when you go for a nice long walk, the first benefit is obviously you get away from the madness of the real world. And the second thing is it's healthy.
Fresh air is good for anyone, right?
And it's free.
And the good thing about it, the even bigger benefit, is
Yeah.
leaving your phone at home. So you detach yourself from the world.
Yeah, 100%.
You literally just go out, just the two of you, hold hands, you know, have that connection. We have travel cups, right? So
Yeah.
sometimes I'll just flick the kettle on, make a tea and coffee, put it in a travel cup, and we'll go for a stroll with our hot
and a tea
drinks.
coffee at home is like, what, a few pennies?
Costs nothing, right? We already
Yeah.
have everything at home. And it's just a
100%.
way of separating yourself from the world, taking extra time out. Like you said, exercise in general, you always feel good about it. But to do it with your partner as well, it's kind of a win-win.
I totally agree. So moving on to number 4 now. What is the 4th date idea on a budget that we do?
So, funny enough, we're actually doing this as we
Yeah,
talk
we
right
are.
now.
I know what you're going to say. Now, the fact you said that, I know what you're going to say.
Movie marathons or movie nights in general, for being such homebodies like ourselves,
Yeah.
there is nothing we love more than a movie night. Getting
100%.
cuddly on the sofa, getting a few snacks, just something that we genuinely enjoy doing together.
100%.
And like I said, we're doing it at the moment with Harry Potter.
We are.
This is the 3rd time we've done it since we've been together.
We're on Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire now.
Exactly, we're on number
Yes.
4 now. The good thing about a movie marathon is that it forces you to keep up with it.
Yes.
And that's what makes it even more enjoyable, because it's something that you're committed to doing.
I 100% agree. It gets quite interesting here because on a movie marathon night, although you're not actually talking because you're watching a movie, you're still connected.
100%.
You're still close. You're still not talking about work. You're still like in that bonding kind of mode.
You cuddle up together, you
Yeah,
enjoy
man.
your snacks together, you get scared together, you laugh together.
Yeah, you
It's all just enjoyable things that you do together, and it's just cozy.
100%, Tan. And this brings us on to the last point, the 5th final date idea that we do on a budget, which is go to the park and have a picnic. But again, this doesn't even have to be the park, but if you've got a garden or even if you've got a living room that you could just almost just like hibernate in, do you know what I mean, and make it into like a little thing on the floor. Literally have a picnic. There's a lot of supermarkets in the UK like Tesco's, Sainsbury's. You can literally buy a sandwich, a packet of crisps and a drink for like £3 or less. So that's not an expensive date idea.
It's just creating that space to devote time to one another. Like you said, you could do meal deals or even fakeaways. Go to the supermarket,
100%.
get a pizza deal that is 10 times cheaper than an actual like delivery, but just as delicious and just as fun. It's just creating that environment that is all about you two to enjoy.
100% agree with you, Tan. So that brings us up to the end of today's episode where we spoke about the 5 date ideas on a budget that we do, and we've also told everyone about our story of how we had our £1 first date.
Exactly. And obviously, like we said, this £1 first date led to marriage. So these things definitely work.
And if you haven't seen episode 1 and you want to know who we are, how we met, and why we started a podcast, you need to watch this video right here.
See you there.